All right. Soon, I will have never existed. If you're reading this, well, I still exist. It started with an argument at a bar. Uh, I don't really remember much about how it started or what it was about. All I remember was one overconfident threat I made in my drunken posture. And, I'll make you wish you were never born. I was drunk, but not drunk enough to forget getting the crap beaten out of me on the sidewalk outside. The other guy even went back inside and returned to my car with a black eye and a bruised ego. Just as my hand was on the door handle, a voice came from the shadows. You know, you can do it, Chris. Huh? I jumped. Who is this, and how did he know my name? Who's there? I asked, more embarrassed than anything else. Hmm, you can make it so that someone was never born. A thin man emerged from the bushes in front of my car. He was young and looked handsome, even pleasant, but something about him was off. I couldn't put my finger on it then, but today the best thing I can compare it to is all the AI art coming out. He was like a really good approximation of a person, convincing until you thought about it too long. But I wasn't thinking about anything much at the moment. "Mm, what do you want?" I asked. "Hmm, I want to give you a gift." Hmm. I sighed, just wanting this guy out of my hair. I said, "Great, yeah, just give it to me. I'll be off then." The man smiled. A shiver ran down my spine. "Hmm, your truck should do," he said. "Place your hand here." Confused and hoping to move things along, I put my hand on the trunk of my old Buick. In a flash, the man lifted a knife and thrusted it through my hand deep into the metal exterior of the truck. I almost too shocked to react. I'm not sure I even screamed. I remember trying to pull my hand away, but it wouldn't budge. A broad smile passed over the man's face as he watched my blood spread across the blue exterior of my truck. His eyes widened, his lips moved as if he was counting. Moments later, he gripped the knife and pulled it out, and then something strange happened. The blood that was now dripping down the back of my car began to recede, not back into my hand, but into the hole where the knife had pierced the trunk. I pulled my hand away and noticed the wound was already closed up. Anything you closed in that trunk will have never existed. Then he just walked away. I shook my head and tried to make sense of what had just happened. Looked down in my palm. I noticed the wound had disappeared. Maybe I had gotten hit harder than I thought. Hmm. Hmm. I drove home, took a shower, and went to bed. I would have chalked it up to injury if not for the next morning. When I returned to my car in the light of day, there was a crimson scar where the knife had been. I popped it open, and to my shock, it was spotless. All the crap I had kept in there, old clothes, some tools, a bunch of trash, it was gone. The trunk was spotless. So I decided to test it out. I grabbed a rock from my driveway, placed it in the trunk, and shut it. With a trembling hand, I opened the trunk again. The rock was gone. I did this half a dozen times or more with larger and larger objects, a branch, a crowbar from my garage. Then I went ahead and dumped my entire trash can into the trunk. Each time I opened it, it was empty and spotless. From that day on, my life would never be the same. I started simple, canceling my trash pickup and using the trunk as more of a garbage disposal. Then I got another idea. I took the next electric bill I got in the mail and made it disappear. I waited a few weeks, then a month. The next one came, but I never got a late notice for the previous. Same, all bills, along with tickets, fines, jury duties, etc. Now went in the trunk. Even after the Buick died, I kept it in my garage. Years went by and I got married. I never told my wife about it, and I had to start garage pickup again to keep her from getting suspicious, but the bills still went in the trunk. Here's where the regret started. 7 or so years later, my marriage got a little rocky. One thing led to another, and another, and I got into an affair with a coworker. After a few months, my wife found out. She blew up, of course, and threatened divorce. It was ugly, and that's when I had a terrible idea. I got the old Buick running again and asked the girl I was having the affair with to meet me in the parking lot after work. I gave her some story about us getting together again, and I don't need to share the details, but she ended up in the trunk. I drove home, and as expected, my wife greeted me with a smile. Dinner was on the table, and everything was back to normal. My affair had just never happened. The next day, the girl's desk was occupied by another woman, whom everybody in the office had known for years. I wish I could say that was the last person who ended up in my trunk. Well, she was the last living person. I drove the Buick again for another year, and one night when I was a little drunk, I hit someone walking along the road at night. He slammed into the windshield, leaving a big dent. Yeah, he was dead by the time I got out of the car. I didn't give it a second thought. Into the trunk he went, and the damage to my car was gone. I've been living like this for 20 years now, using the trunk of my Buick to make all my problems just go away. Well, until yesterday. The man showed up again, this time in my garage. He looked exactly the same as on the first day I had met him. Chris, hmm, you've gotten a lot use out of my gift, I see. I stood there speechless. But it appears you've missed quite a few opportunities. Garbage, bills, mistakes. You've made many things go away over the years, but it was all for yours. Haven't you thought about the possibility of using it for good? Hmm, maybe you could have put murder weapons in there, saved lives, or even those letters from your wife's mother that caused her so much distress. Hmm, you could have helped so many people, but you decided to destroy and defraud. I don't know what to say. I just stared at him. Hmm, you may have evaded human justice, but divine justice can't be thwarted as long as you still exist. Oh, what? I'm here to tell you that your trunk would only work one more time. Only once more. Use it wisely. I tried to reply, but the man vanished, leaving me alone in my garage. Since then, I realized what the curse that trunk had been to me. All the evil I've done that I could have undone. And the more I thought about it, the more I became that last thing I wanted never to have existed. Was me. So, I'm telling you my story here. If you're reading it, I've not done the deed. Once I do, you'll probably forget you've ever read this. Okay, I'm gonna try to put the original post in the description if you enjoy these kind of I'm gonna try to remember to put the original post in the description. I'm gonna do readings from here. I'm gonna try to remember to put the original post in the description, like at the top. I'm gonna do readings here and there from time to time on the channel. But like, if this is something you enjoy, like the video. If I get a good amount of likes, I'm gonna give you another reading within the week. Sounds good to me, right? Sounds good to you, hopefully. All right. With all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope to see y'all once again. My name is Ty, and if you want more readings, like, bye bye. That's trash. I'm gonna cut that out. Oh, that's so bad. I'm gonna cut that shit out.
Baby, just listen, I'm keeping it pimpin'. I'm far from my luck, cause this shit it get wicked. Rachel, I got you, just trust me, it's simple. For Amber, I ride and I'm playing my people. Selling I'm different, she love my flaws. The way I be moving, she say I'm a boss. Dime, I thank you for every prosper. I gotta stay focused, I gotta go hard.